portion of call scenario in the previous class. I have explained both the case of call scenario in the previous class and also shared some question, I think, with you as homework. So anyone tried solve the question?
Yes, sir.
You have uploaded it?
Yes.
Okay, the question is related to call scenario. There was this issue of share at par and premium. The call scenario question I have not shared. The question you have solved is related to application. Okay, yes, there is one call scenario part in that question. So you have opened the call scenario. It is asked to open the call scenario account. Maria, it is mentioned in the question that we have to open call scenario account because you have written call scenario account in journal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You have uploaded it today. That's why it
Yes.
is in the morning. Okay. So, anyone else who have solved the question? Hello, Shahrukh, Madiha, have you solved the question?
Okay.
Okay. So let's start with the call scenario portion. Just 1 minute. Okay, one more concept is related to actually call scenario that we will complete first and then solve it. That is called calls in advance. Then we will discuss any question. It is a small topic. Calls in advance. Okay, like we have discussed this in call scenario that when a shareholder is not able to pay the money, when the shareholder, any shareholder is not able to pay the money due on shares, okay, so company is asking for any call and any one shareholder, any more than that shareholder is not able to pay the money due to any reason, then it is called call scenario. But if the shareholder pay the future call, hello, good evening. Okay, so
Hey,
if
how are
any
you, sir?
shareholder is has already paid the future call along with any present call, then it is called calls in advance. Like if we are asking the application, then allotment, then first call, then final call. So on application, if any shareholder has decided to pay all the money, means allotment, first call, or final call. On allotment, if any shareholder has decided to pay the first call, final call, and on first call, if any shareholder has decided to pay the final call. Okay. So in this situation, all of these payment will be treated as calls in advance. Okay. Now, calls in advance is a liability for the company, you can say, for the time being, because until it is asked by the company, until it is due, it is a liability. Okay, so when a company will ask these calls, then it will be settled, adjusted through these due amount. But until then, it is a liability. So on application, allotment, first call, final call can be paid. On allotment, first and final call can be paid. And on first call, final call can be paid. Now, there is one thing to notice that on final call, there cannot be a calls in advance. No call scenarios. Same as we have done in call scenario that on application there can be no call scenario, because if there is call scenario on application means if any one person will not pay the application money, then we will not give them the share. So there is no concept of call scenario in that case. And if this is the final call, so whatever money that the shareholder will pay, it is final. So he will not pay any future calls, future amount, because there is no amount left, no balance left. So that is why there will be no calls in advance on final. Okay, now calls in advance, there is two entry for calls in advance. For amount received as calls in advance, means along with, that will be better. When calls in advance received with any call, along with any call. And the second is for call money received calls in advance adjusted. So these two conditions. First, we will receive calls in advance, and when that call will become due, it will be adjusted. So calls in advance adjusted. So when we will receive, it will be like cash or bank account debit. Now, calls in advance is a liability here. So cash account debit to any call name you can write share a lot. That's staying. Share a lot. And two calls in advance. Now, calls in advance is on the credit side, it is a liability. When it will be adjusted, it will be on the debit side. Now, cash account debit. calls in advance account debit to share first call. So when we will ask the share first call or final call money, then the amount already received in the previous call will be adjusted. Okay, is that clear? Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for call money received, calls in advance adjusted. Okay. Now the meaning. So when a shareholder pay the future call which is not called along with present call, it is called calls in advance. Okay, please write this. Tell me when you have completed. Okay, question I have shared now.
Answer.
Okay, can you see the question?
No. Now it's visible.
Okay, the Kerala Coir Mills Limited, with an authorized capital of 5 lakh equity share of rupees 10 each, issued 2 lakh equity share, payable 3 on application, 2 on allotment, 3 on first call, and 2 on second and final. The amount due on allotment was received. On the first call being made, one shareholder holding 6,000 equity share paid second and final call along with the first call, while 5 shareholders with a total holding of 10,000 equity share did not pay the first call on their equity shares. Company has not demanded the second and final call. Second and final call has not been made. Past journal entries to record the transaction and draw up the company balance sheet. First of all, we have to prepare, we have to pass the journal entry. So let's start from here because we have to do some workings also. So this is the format of journal entry. Date, particular, left, debit, credit. Is question number 20. It is illustration. Okay, so first of all, we have to do working note. There is application, then allotment. There is no problem here in these two calls. On first call, there are some adjustment required. So Kerala Coil Mills with an authorized capital of 5 lakh equity shares. 5 lakh equity share is authorized. We don't have to do anything with this. Issued 2 lakh equity share, payable 3 on application, 2 on allotment, 3 on first call, and 2. Okay, the amount due on allotment was received. It is not mentioned that how many application received, so we will assume total 2 lakh issued equity share is also the subscribed. So 2 lakh equity share of 3 on application, 2 lakh into 3, it will be 6 lakh. Then on allotment 2, so 2 lakh on allotment, it is 4 lakh. Then 3 on first call, so 2 lakh into 3, it is 6 lakh. Now on first call, you can see the amount due on allotment was received on the first call being made. One shareholder holding 6,000 equity shares paid second and final call along with the first call. So second and final call amount is 2 rupees on 6,000 shares. So calls in advance will be added. So it will be total amount received on 6,000 shares. We have received 2 rupees extra, 12,000. There is one more information. While 5 shareholders with a total holding of 10,000 equity share did not pay the first call. So minus calls in area. So on 10,000 shares, 3 rupees means 30,000 we have not. So total 6 lakh we have to receive. We received 12,000 extra, so receive total 612 and minus 30,000. So it will be 5 lakh 82,000. Then the actually final call is not asked, but if it is asked, then 2 lakh into 2, 4 lakh, and there also minus calls in area, because the person who has not paid the money on first call will not pay the money on uh, final call also. So on 10,000 shares into 2, 20,000 we will not receive. So it will be 380. And one more thing, the calls in advance that we have received on first call will be adjusted here. So 12,000. 3,68,000. Tell me, is this clear? The working part?
Yes, sir.
Okay. On first call, we have received calls in advance. That's why we have added it. And there is one call scenario. That's why we have deducted it. On the final call, we have adjusted, deducted calls in area or calls in advance, both. Now the journal entry. So the first entry, bank account debit to share application. Okay, actually, first you should write this working, because journal you can write along with me. I explain these things we have already discussed, so explanation will be less. That's why you can write journal entry along. Please write this working part first. Tell me when you have completed.
Sir, done.
Okay, now we will start the journal. So the first entry is bank account debit to share application account. The amount is 6 lakh. Then the second entry for application, it will be share application account debit to share capital account. So the first entry, we have received the application money. Now we are transferring it to share capital. So to share capital account, again 6 lakh. The third one is share allotment entry. So share allotment account debit to share capital account. So this 4 lakh. Then the fourth one, bank account debit to share allotment account. So this is four entries up to allotment, because after this there is false in area and false in advanced concept. So complete up to this point and then we will stop to like to solve the first volume. Just to Have you completed? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, uh, calls in arrear and calls in advance. So now stop writing and just listen first. Okay, so the first entry for share first call, it will be same because it is due entry. There is no premium. So share first call account debit to share capital. So we will ask full amount on first call, which is 6 lakh. But on this call, while receiving the money, okay, I'm not opening calls in arrear account. So bank account debit to share first call and two calls in advance, because now along with first call we have also received calls in advance. So how much amount we have received? 5,82,000. This is the cash we have received, 582. 5,82,000 cash. In this, there is 12,000 for calls in advance. 12,000 for calls in advance. So remaining 5,70,000 is for first call. How 5,70,000? 6 lakh minus 30,000. If we exclude this 12,000 of calls in advance, then 6 lakh minus 30,000, 570. So this is the first call. Now, in the question, there is nothing asked for the final call because final call is not asked by the company, but I'm solving it to explain the concept only. Again, in the final call, I will write share final call or share second and final call account debit to share capital. And the next one is bank account debit. So we will ask the full amount again on final call, 4 lakh. But in this 4 lakh, the 10,000 shareholder will not pay the final call also. And there is also in advance, which we have received along with first call. So calls in advance account debit to share final call. So calls in advance was 12,000. And in this 4 lakh, we have not received this 20,000, means 380 we have to receive for calls in advance, sorry, final call, and the 12,000 we have already received, it will be adjusted. So 380 we have received for this call and 12,000 already received in previous call. So total 3,92,000. There is some mistake here. Yes. What I have done. Hey, sorry, my mistake. We have 3,80,000. In total, 4 lakh. We have not received this 20,000. 10,000 shares into 2. So 3,80,000. In this 380, we have already received 12,000. So it means 3,68,000 viewers. Actually, it is my calculation, but I have not seen this and written them all. So 3,68,000, 12,000, 380,000. So this is shared final call. That's why I am always saying that please do the working note before solving the question. So this is it. So in the first call, we have calls in arrear and calls in advance. Means calls in advance we are receiving at that time. So this 12,000 is added. And in the final call, or you can say second call, this 12,000 is deducted because it is for this call which we have received on first. So 12,000 is deducted and also the call scenario is deducted. So that's why 3,68,000. Now please write the share first call and second. There is one part still we have to do in this question, balance sheet. The question is asking us to show the balance sheet also. Done. That as the first one is equity and liabilities. So under equity and liabilities side, there is first heading that is called shareholders fund. And under shareholders fund, the first one is share capital. So the note number 1 will be allotted to share capital. Now we have to prepare note. So notes to accounts. Again, particular amount. So the first is share capital. Under share capital, we write authorized capital. Authorized capital is given in the question. It is 5 lakh equity share of 10 each. So 5 lakh equity share of rupees 10 each. So it means 50 lakh. Then there is issued capital. Again, issued capital is 2 lakh equity shares. Lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each again. So it is 20 lakh. After then, subscribed capital. So under subscribed capital, there is two categories. One is called subscribed and fully paid up. So there is no share in this category. Why? Because company has not asked the final call. So that's why all the shares will be in second category, subscribed but not fully paid up. Let me subscribed but not fully paid up. So not fully paid up, 2 lakh equity share of rupees 10 each, 8 called up. So 8 called up means 2 lakh into 8, 16 lakh minus calls in area. Calls in area is 30,000. So total 15 lakh 70,000. It will be coming here. 15 lakh 70,000. Now, calls in advance, it is a current liability. I told you that calls in advance is a current liability. It will be written separately. Okay, calls in area is deducted from the capital and calls in advance is current liability. When it will be adjusted, then we will write it in the capital. So this is your balance sheet. Tell me if you have any doubt. You want to take the screenshot? Please take the screenshot of this. Done?
Sir, done.
So this is our uh, solution of false in area and false in advance. So tell me if you have any question, any doubt.
Sir.
There are very few questions in the book. So that's why I think this is the last question of this topic of false in area and false in advance. So in the next class, we will be discussing over subscription and then purchase consideration of the cash. So if you don't have any doubt, then that's all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so
Bye.
much.
You want to ask anything, Abdullah?
Sorry?
You want to ask anything?
No, no, actually, I don't want to ask anything. I was about to leave, but you said something.
Oh,
Yeah, and also I wasn't able to attend these many classes because I informed the team that I was traveling.